Hi, it looks like it's going to be a two-part video this morning. So I was talking about grief, and then I was talking about some practical tips you can do. So just to go back, I was saying that, surround yourself with a supportive group. It can be an online support group. It can be a support group in terms of people you see on a face-to-face basis. Family and friends are particularly important at this, for during this time. And I mean good family and friends, not anybody who's negative. So the next point I'd like to make is get busy, get better. And what I mean by that is it's a phrase that's thrown around the rooms of any of the 12-step programs, and it means get yourself a routine, look after yourself. Yeah, I know. How do I look after myself? Check out any of my self-care blogs. Okay, if you don't know how to look after yourself, if you don't know how to do it, go back to basics. Always, always go back to basics and have a look at my self-care blogs. If you're having a really difficult time, if you're having a really difficult day, bring it back to basics. That's what I always say. Bring it back to the very basics you need to look after yourself, and just give yourself a day, a day off that day, or if you need time that day, take it. Do things at a much slower pace. So in terms of get busy, get better, it just means get yourself a good solid routine. Sometimes you have to be very structured in that routine to help yourself, and just take it one day at a time. That's all you can do. That's all you can do, particularly in the very first year, is to do one day at a time. The next thing I suggest in the blog is to look at your faith. And I'm not talking about any one particular religion. Even if you aren't a religious person, you can have faith in your family. You can have faith in the people that surround you. And you can have faith, just, in everyday things. And taking time to reflect on what you believe in terms of your faith can be very comforting. Maybe even, praying or meditating can be very, very helpful at this time. And sometimes people will, particularly during the anger stage of grief, they will, rail against their particular faith, and that's okay. That happens, and that's okay. And sometimes people will return to a faith that they had previously left, and they find great comfort there, and that's okay. You have to do what you feel is best for yourself and how it will help you. The other thing to talk about there is to examine your beliefs. It's a totally different thing. Beliefs are a totally different thing than actually a faith, a spirituality, if you like. Beliefs are what we believe to be true. There are, our values, our moral compass, our whatever you want to call it. If you believe that you will never be happy again, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You will never be happy again because you will look for everything to be negative. So sometimes, not in the first year, but later on, to take a time to an opportunity maybe to review what you believe is true, and to see, if you believe that that happiness is possible, that you will, although you'll never forget the loved one and you will always love them, they would want you to be happy, and they would want you to look after yourself, and they would want to, you want you to have a fulfilling life, then that's exactly what will happen, and that is exactly what you will get. But if the opposite is true, then of course that is what you will get also. So it goes back to our negative thinking and our positive thinking. So do check those blogs out. And the last thing, above all else, if at any stage you're worried and you feel you're stuck in a particular stage of grief, get help. As I said, the first 6 months can be an emotional roller coaster, but if you've gone beyond that first 6 months period and you feel you're getting stuck, or you feel at any time, even within the first 6 months, that somebody you love is stuck in a depressed state, or is stuck at an anger stage, then they also too need help. So please, get help and reach out. And as I was saying, the cancer support people have a brilliant free or at very low cost therapy, meditation, and all sorts of classes for families, for family members who've lost somebody to cancer. And I'm sure there are other groups out there that can also help. And I will leave it there at that. I believe I've been just being told that Facebook is coming and going this morning. What's new? So it's a two-parter today, and there's nothing I can do about it. So if you haven't seen the first part, just go and check it out first, and then come back and watch this one. And I'll leave it there, and I'll talk to you all next week, which will be the last one before Christmas, and then we're off for a couple of weeks. So have a great week, and I will talk to you all again next week. Goodbye.